Oh, that's right, we got perks. Let's see. Let's go ahead and get the XP increase. And it's a new day, so everybody is done. Sister Liliana, the hero Ferelden, answered our messages. She left a letter for the Inquisitor and another to be delivered privately. She also sent goods from her travels that might be of use. We have included them in this missive. Alright, so we'll read that in a minute. Arcanus Dagno was supplied with remnants of exposures to the rifts and the Fade, and she has done something. It is perhaps best to contain her efforts to the Undercroft from now on. And we'll also figure out what's going on with that. Where did I not? Okay, I was like, where's Cullen? Oh no, this is Josephine. The Orlesian nobles were most happy to pledge their loyalty to both the throne and the Inquisition. Their generosity is matched only by their desire to avoid the same unpleasantries that took place at the Winter Palace. All right. Is there anything left over here? Doesn't look like it. These are all resources. We still need to save that for later. Hire former slaves as paid workers. The former slaves freed from the hissing waste have taken shelter with the Inquisition. Most plan to return to families who thought them long gone, but some have asked if the Inquisitor has a place for them as paid workers, so nobody else can participate in this except for Cullen. Many of these people are skilled craftsmen. Our army could always use more engineers.
To work?
So we'll take care of that. The conflict among the nobles of the Orlesian capital has come to a head. Lady Richelieu has been busy promoting an arranged marriage to solidify the positions of the current players, with considerable status reserved for her as matchmaker. The object is the pairing of Lord de Rosier with Lady Thalabot's daughter Celeste. All who have status enough to speak seem to be in agreement, but we have received a number of letters regarding the matter from Lady Velis Thalbot. My daughter will dutifully comply, but I know her feelings. She will speak to no one. I would have you remind her that we are servants of our chosen world, but it serves us as well. It is her name that is stabilizing this alliance. It conveys power that should not be misdirected to matchmakers. From Lord Perrin de Rosier, frankly, I'll be glad when the matter is settled. I've no desire to inconvenience the young Celeste beyond what name-sharing Lady Richelieu recommends. This has been a cock-up from head to tail. From Jacen Leandre, I pledge to the Inquisition if my dearest Celeste is willing to sacrifice to ensure this alliance, then I can only do as much. My name may not be enough for some, but she will have my protection indirectly. Enough service to you. So we could have Cullen. He would get Ghislaine and Celeste out of town, and they elope. Liliana would work on the arranged pairing and get Ghislaine escorted from the city. Josephine, this is a currency. The two youths could be marriage enough if other investments encourage Lord de Rosier to withdraw. So we're going to do Josephine.
At your service.
Because I prefer that ending. Service, the Venatori, who offered to help the Inquisition after his capture, has provided a tip on the whereabouts of some old magical artifacts he shipped out of the Western Approach. He claims he requires a small squadron of helpers and a decent amount of coin to recover them for the Inquisition. Colin would send his soldiers to keep an eye on him. Josephine would send him what he wants, within reason. Liliana says you can't trust him, and she's going to send a spy along, as well as the helpers he requests. So we're going to have
Let's see what
her do that because that sounds smart. Now we should have Codex updated Hero Ferelden, letter from Hero Ferelden. So we want to read that. To her worship, Inquisitor Lavellan, I appreciate your warning regarding Corypheus. Unfortunately, my own search has taken me out of the area where the supposed Magister is operating, and while I have encountered challenges of my own, they have not involved any weakness related to my Grey Warden abilities. As I have little useful information to offer, please accept the accompanying gifts instead. If, in my quest, I find anything that may be of use to you in your fight against Corypheus, I will send it to you immediately. I have also included a note of personal nature for Leliana. I was not there for the death of Divine Justinia, but I know it will have hurt her terribly. While her wits and her skill are amazing, Leliana's greatest strength lies in her faith, and to have Justinia die strikes at her very core. I beg you, if she is faltering, help her find her way back to the light. Warden Commander Tabris of Ferelden. Okay. Cullen is already ready to report back in? That was really fast, Cullen. You were very speedy. Letter from an engineer to his cousin. Tildith. I'm being treated well, and the healers gave me something for the cough. The work's hard, but not as hard as I'm used to, and Commander Cullen is a fair man. He lent me a courier so the money from my wages would reach you safely. Yesterday, I went to the bar and bought ale with my own coin for the first time in 7 years. I couldn't stop crying. The bartender said nothing, but he handed me another drink. Then the guard captain showed me how they play Wicked Grace in the South. I think I will make friends here. That is nice. Okay, Cullen, what do we want you to do? A letter written in fine hand and lightly scented, signed by Josephine. The issue of Tom Rainier has been settled, but his deception has had far-reaching consequences. Had we not used the Grey Warden treaties, we might not have found ourselves in so awkward a position. As it is, I receive daily messages from all quarters demanding we make reparations. We must do something. Scribbled beneath, signed by Cullen. I'm sorry, did we embarrass a duchess at a soiree by stepping on her gown, or was the sky torn open and Haven beset by an ancient darkspawn magister? We needed the gold, we needed the men. You would have persuaded someone to part with them, with or without the treaties. We're not making reparations for doing what we had to do, what no one else could have done. Don't forget, we are now allied with the Wardens. If we had no authority to conscript before, we do now. So, Leliana's not participating. Josephine, do we want the Inquisition to survive beyond Corypheus' defeat? We won't always be at war. Why alienate allies when it would take so little to appease them? Let us return what was taken under false pretense and put these treaties aside. So hers makes sense. Cullen also makes sense. We step forward, not back. No apologies. What happened with the Wardens gives us more authority than ever to use the treaties. Yeah, I agree with both. But, nothing really happens. Josephine gets you nothing and Cullen gets you gold, so
To work?
we'll go with that approach. We do need to go talk to Dagna.
Thank you for your investment in my investigations, Inquisitor. I've learned something, I think. I don't know.
So, you investigated the Fade?
What have you learned? Did you find out about the Fade?
I got a scraping that was cleaned off you, and it's weird. And the other rift bits, they're weird. It's just weird. I said weird, right?
Answers, Dagna.
Lyrium and the Fade linked, but dwarves and Tranquil not linked. But they work lyrium, so they are. Somehow. And there's something there. I was face deep in a rune, and for a moment, I was tall. Really tall. And I thought all the thoughts.
You were really tall?
You felt taller. How much taller?
Like mountain tall. Or I was the mountain. But I was moving. I felt dizzy. You know what I remembered? watching a shaper it carve the wall of memory, except big. Isn't that weird? Maybe there were fumes.
Thought all the thoughts?
What do you mean when you say thought all the thoughts?
I don't know. As if for a moment I was around all my people, and my thought was all of theirs.
Your thoughts were their thoughts?
No, my thought was all of our thoughts, like parts. Ugh, words are mush. Maybe that's what the stone feels like. Or we think it feels like. If we think it feels. Creepy.
Okay. Well, what's the link with no link?
So Tranquil and dwarves are linked to Lyrium, but also not linked.
Like the lyrium needs to flow, but if you're part of it, it takes you with it. So you can't be part of it. That makes me sad. I'm not sure why. It seems like we should be part of it. Whatever it is. Or maybe we're the ones who make it happen. Whatever it is. You know what's frustrating? Answers that aren't answers. Blah.
Okay.
Keep investigating, and let me know what you find.
I tried to make it happen again, but it wouldn't. And I had a headache. And cocoa and a lie down. I'll keep at it. It's weird. Oh, and I made a rune. It's weird too. Be careful with it.
Okay.
Something strange for you, Inquisitor. You're used to that by now, right?
Mind your mentor operation? Okay.
I'll see you later, Dagna.
I can't wait.
She made a rune, and I don't know. I don't think either of these are what she was talking about. I don't know.
The pen is mightier, Miles.
I'm gonna get rid of my inventory. Let's see if I believe this is the same letter that's been here always. Yes. I want to see if she has anything to say.
I received a note from the hero Ferelden. She misses me.
Of course she does.
I very much needed to know she was still out there fighting to be with me. Thank you. It is a great relief, and I appreciate you allowing me to send the messenger. Now, can I help you with anything?
Updates?
Anything I should know?
I've nothing to report at the moment.
Okay.
I'll leave you to your work.
At your service, my lady.
Alright, I just wanted
I'll
to
leave
check.
you to your work.
Okay, since we are here, what are you guys arguing over? That was weird. We are supposed to go do... Where was it? This place. What is this? Oh, okay. Let's go ahead and do this. I thought we were doing this by ourselves. I think we're good.
It's just as I remember it.
You've been here before?
You didn't tell me you'd been here before. The hero Ferelden and I came here after the Blight to visit Justinia. She was just Dorothea then, a revered mother.
So, where's this hidden treasure?
Straight to business. It's why I like you, Inquisitor.
Liliana, is that you?
Sister Natalie, what are you doing here? I thought you were in Val Rayo.
No, I've been here since Justinia died. This place makes me feel like she's still with us.
Inquisitor, this is Natalie, a trusted friend.
Wait, Inquisitor? You brought the Inquisitor here? My lady, forgive me for not recognizing you earlier.
Oh, I'd rather not.
I wish more people would fail to recognize me.
Oh, I see.
Natalie, listen. There is something hidden here. Something Justinia left for me.
Oh, really? What is it?
I don't know, but we'll find it. I'm curious to see what brought us all here. Justinia's letter came with instructions for me. They were a little cryptic. Always remember that faith sprung from a barren branch. That light has no fear of darkness. Above all, that strength lives in an open heart.
She must be hinting at something in here. Let's look around.
Do they still sing verses from the benedictions every Friday? That canticle was Justinia's favorite.
Yes, of course. We'd never give up the traditions of our most beloved divine.
That is lovely to hear. I stare up at the breach sometimes. It's terrifying, but beautiful in its way. Have you seen it by sunrise?
When the sun rises through it, it splits into what looks like 1,000 suns, like a broken mirror.
Yes, spectacular, isn't it? You must be careful, Natalie. Justinia's enemies are making their move, vying for position and the Sunburst throne.
I don't want to cut off their dialogue, so that's why I was waiting. Oh.
I was in the cloister in Lothering when the Blight began. There was a lot of fear back then. No one knew what was going to happen, whether we would live or die. And then one morning, I found a single bloom on a dead rose bush. And I thought, even in the midst of all this, life finds a way. The Maker hasn't abandoned us.
There's a fan theory that I love that if you romance Alistair, he rescues a rose from Lothering, and the fan theory is that it's Leliana's rose. Where? I guess it's probably in there, but yeah, okay. What's behind us?
An open heart. Well, that one's quite literal. And morbid. But Justinia always said that compassion was my greatest strength. Doubt is easy. It takes courage to trust.
So that was light has no fear in darkness. Faith springing from the barren branch was her rose. Where's the other one? It says it's right here. There we go.
What was that?
Looks like we opened something.
Huh.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
Leliana.
Good old Leliana was playing you the whole time. Didn't you realize?
They never sing the benedictions here on Fridays, Natalie. Something so simple. And you got it so wrong. I wanted to believe, but you were lying from the start. Keep that pretty mouth shut if you must, dear. You've already told me everything I need to know. The prickleweed burrs on your hem, talking about the sun rising through the breach. It all points to a single place. Morel in the Dales, Grand Cleric Victoire's bastion. She sent you, didn't she? Victoire was always an opportunist.
Who's this Victoire?
Who is this Grand Cleric? I've never heard of her.
An experienced cleric. She never agreed with Justinia, but kept her ideas to herself. I suppose now, with Justinia dead, she thought she could make her move.
What were your plans?
I want to know what this Grand Cleric planned here.
She sent Natalie here to see what Justinia was hiding, no?
The Inquisition has turned Thedas away from the true chantry. It must be stopped.
Stop us? You must be joking.
Mother Victoire is well loved by many. The Inquisition has more enemies than you know.
And Victoire thinks she can ally with them.
Oh, well, I don't think that's gonna happen.
Good work. We know the name of our enemy. That's half the battle won.
Exactly.
Kill me then. I am not afraid to die for my beliefs. At least I still know what I believe.
Yeah, she's not worth it.
Release her, Leliana. She is no threat.
The Grand Cleric.
She is one woman. We are the Inquisition.
The Inquisitor has spoken. Run. Tell your mistress that she has a choice. The Inquisition is coming.
If you haven't talked to her into sparing lives this entire game, she'll kill Natalie anyway.
No! This can't be it. There's nothing here.
Is there something hidden, maybe?
Check again. Perhaps the box itself is a puzzle. She seemed the puzzling sort.
No, it's just an empty box. There's a message carved in the lid. The left hand should lay down her burden. She's releasing me. The divine has a long reach, but it is always her left hand that stretches out. 1,000 lies, 1,000 deaths. Her commands, but my conscience that bore the consequences.
That's what she said in the Fade.
She apologized in the Fade. She said she failed you. This is what she meant.
All this time, Justinia carried the fear that she was using me, just like I'd been used in the past. But Marjolaine's games were trifles. Justinia gambled with the fate of nations. She needed me. No one else could have done what I did. She knows that.
Then you have to let it go. Let her go. You don't owe her anything anymore.
If it were not for you, I would have killed Natalie and called it a good thing. Thank you for showing me what was right when I couldn't see it for myself. There are things that must be said, but not here. I will see you back at Skyhold.
So Liara asked that we keep Leliana from losing herself, and that's exactly what we did. Let's head back here.
I would have been merciful with the mayor. He made a difficult decision.
That's because you wouldn't have had family in his way.
I might have had family in the Blight's way.
We all did. Hard to remember that.
Far too hard.
Yeah. Especially with the debate on whether the fifth blight was really a blight, because it ended so quickly. Where am I going?
Grand Cleric Victoire has offered the ambassador support for the Inquisition.
Huh.
Ah, Natalie is as persuasive as ever.
I'm told that Ambassador Montillier is pleased with the restraint you showed in Valence.
She's positively beside herself. I will never hear the end of it. Niceness before knives, Liliana. Haven't I always told you?
Will that be all, my lady?
For now.
How are you doing?
How have you been feeling since Valence?
Good. Wonderful. Valence was something of a rebirth for me. If you hadn't been with me at Valence, I would have killed Natalie. I'd have told you that I didn't have a choice. But there is always a choice. I am more than this. I am more than what Justinia made me.
Absolutely. Are you angry with her?
Do you resent Justinia for what she did?
How can I when there is so much between us? When she gave her life for peace? No, I believe her intentions were pure. Most intentions are.
Are you quitting?
What does this mean for my Inquisition? Will you still be my spy master?
Of course. I would not give up my post. Not after everything we've built. I just know now that I shouldn't ignore my heart. Mercy is not always a weakness.
This is a monologue. Hell.
You've exceeded her. She could never have imagined the power you now hold.
And now I will know how to use that power wisely. I have to stay true to who I really am, before a spy master left hand or barred. I almost lost myself. Inquisitor?
Anything I should know?
I've nothing to report at the moment.
Okay.
I'll leave you to your work.
Oh, come on. There we go. Nope. Nope. Whee! Ah! And he didn't notice. Again. I can't. Okay. Everybody's still doing their thing? Nope, someone's done. 2 people are done. We'll make use of the Grey Warden treaties however we can. We're so close to Corypheus, we'll need everything we can use for the final push. So we get gold.
What happened in Adamant is a shame.
I'm still reeling over the army of demons. Imagine what would have happened if the Inquisitor hadn't arrived.
So apparently not budging actually gets us rewards. Whereas Josephine's way would have gotten us nothing. Service delivered the artifacts as promised. The spy we sent to watch him caught him taking a trinket, an expensive bauble really, for his personal collection. Service returned it without hesitation, claiming he wished to see if we were intelligent enough to catch a newly defected agent. Then he gave us the location of a cache of jewels and coin the Venatori had hidden just outside the approach. I suspect he was hoping he'd be caught. The mage enjoys being slippery. A man like that is not so hard to nudge in the direction we require. Lavellan. So we got a belt. Your worship, my town of Val Gamord has been besieged by darkspawn. I cannot fathom where the lonesome beasts have come from, but I beg the Inquisition for assistance. My own humble forces have already been dispatched to help in your own noble efforts, leaving my people ill-equipped against the savage host. Word of your redemption of the Grey Wardens has already spread far. Please, if you can spare them, Val Gamord lives or dies by your word. So you only get this if you didn't exile the Wardens. Josephine would call upon allies and save the Wardens for true emergency. Lavellan would suggest that they investigate before committing forces, because it just sounds weird. And Cullen would just send the Grey Wardens in. And we're going to send Cullen.
Inquisitor.
A letter on dark vellum with obviously dwarven markings. A hole in the surfacer's precious sky, not our concern. But the thing that did it, if this Magister shit really brought the Blight and the Darkspawn, we're no friend of that. Follow these instructions and you'll catch your enemy sleeping. Tell your soldiers not to leave the main tunnel. That's your only warning. Vinthus Warhelm Kalsharak. The letter ends with a map to a cave system and the number of troops that can pass. So Josephine. Potential relations with another dwarven tag would be far more beneficial than a minor strike at the Venatori. At the least, send ambassadors with our soldiers. So she wants to capitalize on that. Cullen. They can have their secrecy, but we don't know the threat on the other side of their passage. I'd send double that to even the threat of Venatori. Leliana's advice is to do as they say, no more, no less. And she's the best one to do.
Inquisitor.
So we're gonna do that. While all that is going on, we're gonna go ahead and start this. The Inquisition has received an urgent request for aid from Orzammar. A subterranean earthquake has collapsed one of their lyrium mines and endangered several others. Even worse, tunnel seals preventing darkspawn from overrunning the dwarven-occupied deep roads have crumbled, allowing hordes of the enemy to invade. Orzammar is a key provider of the Inquisition's lyrium supplies, and as such, its security is a top priority. The earthquake opened a fissure in the Stormcoast Mountains, granting direct access from the surface to the threatened region underground. Constructing a mining lift at the fissure site will permit the Inquisition to transport forces directly to where darkspawn fighting is fiercest. Who do we want to send? Orzammar has the experts we need to build such a lift. At your discretion, I can hire a team of their best construction workers right away. I know where to find people who can build a mining lift quickly and safely. We need to move quickly to contain them. Dispatch my best people. Let's do this. Construction team arrived in the Stormcoast Mountains and set up a mining lift to transport Inquisition forces from the earthquake fissures opening down into the deep roads. Inquisitor, the mining lift in the Stormcoast Mountains will be finished by the time you get here. Anyone going into the deep roads should dress accordingly. Don't skimp on the armor and bring the best weapons in Skyhold's arsenal. I also recommend packing plenty of dry rations. Most things down there will be looking to eat the Inquisition, not the other way around. Scout Harding. I want to take Varric and Solas and let's take Blackwall.